have a passion for that? Coming up with the right turn of phrase or the right way to articulate a finding in a way that it gets maximum yield and maximum interpretation will yield. It's like, yeah, I just get it, and it doesn't just happen. Do you get enjoyment out of doing that?
I do. It is usually if you read my audit report, the first sentence should hit you right in the head. You'll see exactly what it's up. So you don't waste any more time. The first sentence will tell you exactly what.
Reasonably effective.
That's not my conclusion. That's my conclusion. So you read my audit report, each finding, the first sentence will hit you on the head. You read it, wow, I know exactly what it is.
Wow.
So without saying too much in detail,
cool.
You should feel, because the exact level, so anybody, you literally want a couple of seconds on each headline to read it. If the headline doesn't catch the importance of what we do, then you're going to skip it. Then you start reading other stuff. So I think that's very important. I think that conveying that immediate message where you grasp people's attention how important or the risk or the effectiveness, I think the first sentence, in terms of at least on my audit report finding, have to hit you on the head.
If you haven't noticed yet from our conversation with Jason that being able to effectively communicate and being able to do this well, like being able to effectively communicate, like here's where I see a vulnerability, here's what it actually affects, like here's what is going to happen if like we don't get it fixed or a possibility, then like I walked in on your team this morning. Like this is the culture that he's building in his team. I walked in on your team this morning, and
was I there?
You weren't there yet.
I wasn't there. Okay.
And what they were doing was they were trying to figure out how to communicate and write something in a manner where it gave the reader like exactly what they needed so it's such an important thing. It's such an important piece, and so often like we don't think about that. And I was saying like with my accounting team in the past, when I would bring them on board, I had to spend time with them, teaching them like you can't respond to somebody with this way. You can't respond with just part of the story. You can't respond, like you have to have an answer for them. You have to have an answer quickly. If you don't have an answer, you have to have a response quickly, letting them know what you're doing. You have to keep them updated with it. You have to put it in a way where they're going to understand what you're talking about, because the way you speak or the way you think about things is not the way that they're going to understand it. Because it makes such a difference. Like all of us, every single person in this room here, we're support, right? Our job is to help the men and women out there who are selling service, selling cars, and making money. Our job is to help them to be able to do that to the best of their ability with everything we do. So they are our customers. The stores are our customers. And if you think about customer service, and you said it earlier, how can I best serve these people that are out there, busting their butts to sell cars? How can I help them?
You don't always have self-awareness to think about where am I at from a policy, or what's the word, where you align with the policy. Policy alignment. What's that? Compliance. Thank you. People who are look at a dealership, it's just busy. It is crazy busy. People are running around, and sometimes people don't always have the wherewithal to have the situational awareness. Even sometimes when it falls under their purview, right? But you're able to help them with that because we understand that nobody can do it all. But if I can highlight these vulnerabilities can be exploited to hurt you, don't let this happen. Suddenly you go from auditor to having an S under your chest, where it's like,
look at that. Now you're Superman.
No, not superpowers. Just a lot of work. A lot of hard work. No superpowers. No, but it is true that you gotta get the message across. Again, as you know, my audit report is a wide audience, so I gotta make sure everyone fully immediately understands. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, you lose your value and credibility.
Yeah.
Right?
If nobody reads it, what is all those hours that you spent over there creating it matter? None of it matters.
No, absolutely. That's why it's very important you get it. So the importance, the conveying the right message to the wide audience that I have, the executive team of, that everyone fully understand. We go up, flipping pages and not reading it. So so now we try to do that pretty good.
So I know you well enough to know that you really buy into and believe the core values of Hudson, right? And so you believe that relationships matter. You believe that people are the key to our success, and you certainly believe in like consistent improvement. So, like, what difference does it make? Maybe you can answer this. What difference does it make in your role, in your position, what you're doing, like being able to build a relationship with a person to go in there and do it, as opposed to somebody who just comes in there like a bull in a china shop?
Good question. Now, I think building the relationship and really following the core value, it really helps not so much to open the door, but it helps putting the auditee a full understanding the purpose how we doing things and why we doing things in that collaboration together. We improve. We all we how we strive to, to be the very best, the good stuff that the Hudson Group really say. So we do the same thing. So we preach the same thing, we did feel. So we open a lot of time we open the door that way. Whereas that we really try to come in and work as a partnership to improve. So we don't no bull in the Chinese shop, that type of stuff. I want any of our chief executives to give me phone calls. Don't take your face.
What are some things you do to try to put people at ease when you go into a store? Maybe you're meeting someone for the first time, or that they're under the stereotype that preconception of like audit, black and white. Here comes the Grim Reaper. But like, what things do you do to put their minds at ease, help them to like relax and kind of like accept your help and like let down their defenses?
Good question. Let's have lunch.
Yeah.
Break bread. Got break bread. Yeah, have some sincerity in that. But I can talk about work all day long.
Right.
But you ever spent 45 minutes or an hour having lunch? We will talk about different subject to let everyone know, hey, I have a good job just like yours, but what can we do to do better? So I usually open that up.
Yeah.
Then when I get back to the office, and of course, fortunately, we have all access, in terms of financial, we have all access to the CDK, all this stuff, the clicks. So we're able to get a lot of stuff. Of course, we need some explanation sometimes. But I think that helps tremendously, just to break bread.
Yes.
But we're all human, so we try to work it in that way. We're just black and white. You can do it anywhere.
That's awesome. You're right. What a dovetail to our first thing about food.
That's true.
I mean,
sports and food. I think forget the audit side.
Yeah,
sports and food.
Sports and food.
Yeah.
What I loved was your plan that you had to develop people. So for me, my passion is in developing people. So everybody in this room knows that I asked to be able to create this learning and development department, and it's not a department where I go out and train people. It is my job is literally to create opportunities for different roles in our organization to develop people to that next level, to say somebody can come in and they don't have to do this thing and then leave and go somewhere else to do something else. It's so that people can come in and we can help them to get better at what they do, to make more money and to to progress in their career and stuff like that. And so the thing that stuck with me in our conversation yesterday was that you have that same mindset, and your mindset is to help us to create our bench, which is one of the things I'm doing with Control and Development Academy and like a lot of other things, is like we should be creating a bench. We're too big to be bringing people in from the outside. We have too many talented people to be saying like, oh, well, we need somebody to fill this position. Where can we find them out here? We should be able to find them inside our organization. And that's something that you are actively doing with your team of auditors that you're putting together.
No, absolutely. Well, I gotta check a record button this time. I have lunch with her. No, I do. I am trying, because I developed a similar program in other companies that becomes very successful. They really develop controllers into our dealership. So what we do, like I said, I have an integrated audit for the financial operation, IT, but also at the same time helping our auditors go out and they talk to the GM, talk to the fixed ops. So its skin gets so much thicker that when they become a good controller, they're not afraid to ask questions and how things work. And also at the same time, because they've been internal audit, they already have some good idea how operation actually affects their numbers. So when they pinpoint a problem or area, then go out and say, hey, that was it. Let's take a look at that. and also help again. It helped develop the communication so that when they have their meetings, when they become the superstar controllers that I expect, so they will.
That will. Yeah.
They will have that. They'll be armed with both knowledge and skills to work on these things. So I think that's very important. The fact line. I said, fortunately, I did that for other companies for using the internal audit. It's great stepping stone to help get to the next level, next couple of levels. Or if they're very good, then they could actually manage not just a dealership, but manage a market of dealerships. So it's very helpful.
I just love that. Like, you and I haven't really talked about that before. I know I had, talked to, I have relationships with several of your team, and they've talked to me about, like, their growth, and I would always be like, have you already talked to Jason? And they're like, yeah, of course, we've already talked to Jason. But it wasn't anything that you and I had ever talked about it. And so I don't think I realized prior to, like, yesterday that, like, you had a very intentional plan when you bring these people in to, like, spit them back out as a better, more formed, to be able to kind of, like, grow into a larger role.
Well, in combination of we do try to develop them on academy, women Hudson, all that stuff. I try to take, let's say, I have a number of staff. I try to take them on a even more practical basis. I mean, they're actually in the field, working, touching, talking, stuff. So it does help. So I'm very lucky that I have several staff, folks that works for the internal audit team. That's really who's progressing good.
Yeah.
So they will. They may also help the company with the talent pipeline.
Yeah.
So again, I think even that not just on the controller side, they're gonna be so knowledgeable enough they're able to go out and work on they want to go with the parts director or in some aspect to get into the parts and repair services. We have that multi of knowledge and understand the operation, and the key is how it affects back to the books and records.
I love it.
So, like, we were talking about the way that you put, like, in the headline, right? This is it. This is the important thing. Like, I'm sure you do this for your people in the same way, because otherwise it would be very disconcordant, right? To have, like, a beat around. And you said something to me. He said something, I don't know if you were at the table yet, but you said people can mistake, what is it, like an affable sensibility for not being serious when you need to. Something you said
the office or something like that. Exactly.
You said it much better.
I said thanks for remembering that. Right. I normally like to just because I enlighten the subject doesn't mean I take the subject lightly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I try to have that, the relationship, communication, the openness first.
Yes.
But I never take anything lightly on it because I know by the time if it's on the audit report, it's usually serious enough that hey, let's fix it.
Yeah.
So again, I'm not looking for the ahas. I'm not opposite. So just because I'm trying to like the situation to the relationship, I would not never get my work lightly. So
one of the things that I find fascinating about you.
I'm sorry. This drop those away.
One of the other things that I really find fascinating about you is your desire to continuously keep growing and getting better. So you do a lot of reading, audibles, listening to books and stuff like that, right? Because it's
Very yeah, it's true.
Why is that? Why do you do that?
Good question. Because I travel a lot, so therefore audiobooks is great. But that helps. And I do. I think there's so many things I can continuously learn from books, from these experts. I read all kind of books too. Obviously, John Maxwell books, the David Schwartz books, and many other writers that I think. But in addition to the other leadership, the business stuff, I like to also read a lot of biographies too. Right? Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, the Carnegies, the Rockefellers. So I do read a lot of different books too. So in addition to business and finance books, I do try to open up on different things. And then the current book I'm reading is Leaders Eat Last.
Oh yeah,
that's an interesting book.
I haven't read it. Is it good?
Yeah, absolutely. So but it's very interesting book. That's more of a leadership book. But I do try to read different types of books. Just inspirational books too. John Wooden is one of the best college coaches of all times. So I do like to read some of his inspirational books. How to be a better person, better leader, and can I do read a variety of books. So
Do you read any fiction?
if it's fake, then I usually don't read it.
See, did you say if it's fake? I usually don't read it.
Fiction, right?
Yeah, fiction, fake. Yep, I know what it is.
I like to watch movies on those.
So good.
All right. So beside reading, I know you like to read. You're always talking about a book that you're reading, and like, is there one that like specifically stands out to you that you're like, this book, everybody should read this?
Obviously, all the leadership books, all the stuff are fantastic. I would say probably one of the first one, and they really got stuck to my head. Who Moved My Cheese?
Oh yeah.
It's an easy, short one, easy. It really I think that book itself, I just started reading. They said, oh wow, I can actually learn something. Oh, I can actually apply it to something. I should really think differently. I think that's the first book that helped me get into reading.
I like it. That's a good one.
Yeah, it is. It's short, it's easy, reasonably pretty easy to understand too. So
I really like Atomic Habits. I would recommend it to anybody to read it because it's an easy read. It's not short and little, but I mean it's a pretty easy read. It is not like sometimes when you get into like these leadership books or like they can be really dense. Like there's all sorts of really dense stuff in it, but it's just so simple. And it's just simple ideas and things that like will really change your life and how you like view how you're being intentional with like your life and your habits. I thought that was a really good one.
So it does help with all these books or things you do. You hopefully develop good processes. You get connected to it, and good processes will help develop good procedures. Procedures become good habits, and those the habits will stay with you.
Jason's policy and procedures guy.
Good habits. I've mastered it to the habit side now.
So Jason, you have 2 beautiful children.
Thanks.
Your son is graduating this year, and your daughter is in college.
Yes.
And
Don't make me say anything that could embarrass them.
and your daughter received one of our first Women of Hudson scholarships.
Fantastic, yes.
Which I loved. I was so excited to be able to give that away to her.
No, she loved it. She definitely enjoyed it. So Mama leave her words to her son versus me try doing it. But she's very grateful.
I know she did reach out when she got awarded it. How did you feel when you were like, I work for a company that just gave my daughter money for school? In the vein of like, building up to women.
No, I personally felt it was obviously a great thing that Women Hudson is doing, right? It confidence, the strong, and all the stuff. Of course, now you're helping the connected employees, the women related to Hudson in different ways, more courage to try elevate the education. I know the scholarship includes your car scholarship, or even trade skills, how you improve yourself on different things. So I think that's very important to do that with the woman that's connected to the company. I think it definitely helps her quite a bit, encourages a lot. But I'm going to let her get back to you guys.
Okay, all right, sounds good, Jason. So am I right to say you've been in automotive for almost 15 years?
Wow. Oh, very good.
Is that right?
Oh, including Hudson, yes.
Yeah.
So, yeah, audit about 30 years. So, I'm more like most of my career, at least half of my career is with Audible.
Okay. So, then let me just ask you this. Have you seen over your 15 year span in automotive, have you seen a difference in like females, how they're treated, the positions that they have opportunities to serve in and stuff like that? Have you seen movement in that over your 15 years?
Good question. I mean, obviously, it's still mostly a men's business. Always really see that. I mean, not just on the sales side, but fixed ops side. I have seen some movement. Company takes active movement or something like that. I wish
will get it more progression a little faster. Of course, it takes time. It takes time for the program to develop. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, so it'll take a little time. So I have seen some.
I've been in automotive for a little over 10 years now, which is crazy. I know, and I've definitely seen improvement in or progression in this, and like nothing due to me or anything that I'm doing, but I have seen like the needle moving, and it's very little and it's very slowly, but I definitely see the needle moving. And all of that to say, Jason, I just want to say thank you for like everything you do to support. Like you're such a great. I always get these supportive emails from you around it, and it just like makes me feel happy when I get.
You're not so as a talented one. It's like I just want to encourage people doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Period.
It's so encouraging.
But I don't want that the cat out of the bag on her. That's not. I can try.
Okay. Well, it's very encouraging when you do.
Well, I'm gonna respect your privacy there, but I was gonna say, like, when we did our first episode, I think David, like, you sent the warmest like email, like, just it was like really cool. You know what I mean? Because like, oh, that was whatever, but like it was just so like spot on, and like it really meant a lot actually. Oh, thanks. And it's important to, if we see look, if we see something wrong, we're supposed to say something. But if you see something great, like, you can also say something, you know what I mean? It's just like, that's a great thing, and you do that. It's like, it's really cool. I really respect that about you.
Silent compliments, that's no good for anybody. Challenge. And so true. So I do try to practice where I reach.
And I'm like, what? And the lady started laughing, so I started laughing, right? And the lady, and like I kept laughing, and I thought it was like she was kidding around. Like I like to joke around, and I fly up to Charlotte, and I meet TC at a Starbucks. Right now, TC's dressed to the nines, scarf, looking good, and I got my '80s suit on.